Welcome to episode 53 of FountainCast, a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, striving to be your one-stop fountain of information regarding your local business community here in Fountain Hills. I'm your host, Jill Haislip. In today's episode, I'm speaking with Jeff Stack of Homewatch Neighbor. Jeff is going to share with us the importance of hiring a Homewatch company to watch over your home while you're away. Jeff is actively involved with not only the town of Fountain Hills and nonprofits, but the Chamber of Commerce, and can share some helpful tips on how to get the most out of Fountain Hills. Thank you, Jeff, for joining us today.
Thank you, Jill, for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what exactly is Homewatch Neighbor?
Homewatch Neighbor is a company that I founded about 4 years ago now, here in Fountain Hills, and I look after snowbirds' homes when they're gone for extended periods of time. So anytime you leave your home for an extended period of time, your home needs to be watched. That could be a snowbird, could be a full-time resident that is gone for a couple of months during the summer months. It could be just somebody on vacation for 3 or 4 weeks. I take care of their homes to make sure that their homes are happy and healthy when they return back after their travels.
What a great product. What made you decide to start this business?
So that's a really good question. I was at a crossroads in my career, and it was time for me to make a change. And Pam and I knew that we were going to wind up in Fountain Hills. So we were looking for a business that I could develop here in Fountain Hills. And we were part-time residents. We had a home here in Fountain Hills for 20 years.
Wow.
And would visit as a vacationer.
Okay.
And so 4 or 5 times a year we'd come out, and invariably we'd find something wrong at the house. It was always something little and minor, thank goodness. And I recognized there was really a need for some type of a home watch service. So that's why I developed the company. My next door neighbor used to come by and let the pest control guy in. He would flush the toilets, but there was so much more involved and so much more necessary to take care of a home. So that's why I developed Homewatch Neighbor.
I love that. I love that your business started from your own experience. I think it makes it to where you're more passionate, because it's not something you just, fell into, but you lived it, so you know how beneficial it is.
That's true. So, and you mentioned passion. I think passion is important in everybody's business world. And it is something that I'll say I've become passionate about it. I don't think I started out being passionate about it. It was a role I was playing. It was a job. It was income. But I have become very passionate about it because of the feedback that I get from my clients. The feedback is fantastic, surprisingly supportive, and it is just such a feel good that I just have to continue to do it.
That's great. I love that. So tell us, what are some of the key services that you offer for people while they're away? I'm sure it varies based off of somebody just going on vacation maybe for a week or two compared to our snowbirds that come and go for months at a time.
Right, so the services are really similar whether you're gone for a week, a month, or 6 months. So the services I provide at each home is really the same regardless of how long they're gone for.
Okay.
I visit clients' homes as frequently as weekly. I offer services 3 times a month, and I offer those who have are more budget conscious. I'll visit homes as infrequently as every other week.
Okay.
I don't recommend anybody having their home visited any less than that, but every other week would be the bare minimum. So, for example, if somebody was gone for a month, I might visit that home 3 times. I might visit it 4 times. And I've had instances where there are special needs for a home. People had plants that they wanted watered. So those homes needed more attention than some others. But a typical visit to a home would mean that I've turned the water on to the home when I arrive, because in advance I'd be turning the water off so that when nobody's at the homeowner isn't there, and I'm not there, the water to the home is turned off.
Okay.
The reason we do that is because the water will create the most expensive repairs and create the most damage.
Sure.
So we want to protect the home as best we can. So we turn the water off. When I arrive at the home, I turn the water on, and then I fill P-traps throughout the house. So it's kind of a geeky thing, and I've become a bit of a home watch geek. But Any place where there's a drain in the house, there's a P-trap. And a P-trap is simply a U-shaped pipe that's underneath every drain in the house. And people kind of know that you're supposed to flush the toilets when a home is left unoccupied. They don't really know why they do, they just know that they're supposed to do that. And you can see the water in the toilet, so I think that's why it's most obvious. But I fill the water throughout the house, or fill the P-traps throughout the house. That's sinks, showers, tubs. I run the dishwasher and washing machine. All those places have P-traps, even though you don't see them. You don't see it underneath the tub, you don't see it underneath the shower,
Right.
but it exists. It's also underneath the dishwasher and washing machine. In addition, I run other appliances, the dryer, the RO if there is one, the garbage disposal. I check the temperature of the refrigerator and the freezer. I turn down the thermostat of the AC to make sure the AC is functioning properly. Throughout the house, I'm looking at the walls, the ceilings, the floorboards, looking for any signs of any water intrusion, any sign of any pest infestation. And the garage is just another room in the house to me, so I exercise that garage door to make sure it's functioning properly, and I check again, ceilings, walls, and floorboards. And so we run the appliances, even those appliances that don't have drains or P-traps below them. Why? Because all these things work better when being utilized rather than sitting idle.
Right. Wow, you're very thorough.
Well, I think so. and following each of my visits, I provide my clients with a report.
Oh.
And if there's any issues or anything I want them to see during my visit, I provide them with a picture as part of that report. So that no matter where they are, if they have an internet connection, they can see the results of that report. My clients appreciate that a lot. One of my favorite stories about clients retrieving their report from anywhere in the world with an internet connection was a couple that are full-time residents went on an Alaskan cruise for 2 weeks.
Ooh.
And I had sent them reports. They actually needed plants watered, so I was there 3 times per week. And I sent the first report to them. And from the cruise off the coast of Alaska, he sent me a thank you note through the app that he had received the report and appreciated the pictures of the plants that I had watered. So it was kind of cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good. What areas do you service? Just Fountain Hills, or do you extend out into the valley?
When I started my business, I was thinking that it was going to be Fountain Hills specific, but also I recognized the need to develop and grow my business as quickly as possible. So I have clients here in Fountain Hills, as far south as Paradise Valley, as far north as Legend Trail, and anywhere along that, from Fountain Hills along Shea, up Pima. So I have homes in Greyhawk, McDowell Mountain Ranch, off of Happy Valley, and then up as far north as Legend Trail.
Okay, so all our listeners, it doesn't matter if you live here in Fountain Hills or not, we can get Jeff to take care of your home for you. What would you say is your favorite part of being a Homewatch expert?
Well, there's a couple of things I'd say. This time of the year, I do a lot of educational presentations, and I teach homeowners how to prepare their home before they leave for the hot summer months. I teach real estate agents pretty much the same lesson so that they can help their clients. So helping people, making them more knowledgeable about their homes is an important thing for me. I like doing that.
Can you share a tip with us that maybe you share with one of the homeowners?
There is a tip I share with all my homeowners. It's called the penny trick.
Okay,
Did you know
I know
that's
the penny
coming?
trick, yes.
So the penny trick is simply putting a cup of water in the freezer before you're leaving your home. In a week, when I come back to your home, I'll put a penny on top of that frozen water, now ice. And on each of my visits, I'll check the penny to make sure it's still on top of the ice. If not, perhaps there's been a power outage and the ice has melted, the penny would fall into the water ice solution. And if it had refrozen, we know that probably the food needs to be addressed.
Okay.
That there's been a power outage for an extended period of time, and we need to be concerned about the food in there. So that's a helpful hint.
Absolutely. Small little things that can help to prevent bigger issues.
Right. Well, in this case, health issues, right? You may
Yes.
you may not want to eat that chopped meat when you defrost it again.
True, yes.
So that is a good tip. I I talk to my clients about the temperature that they should set their thermostats to when they leave. I talk about what to do with their water heaters when they leave, and so there's many things. And then security issues. You want to make sure your mail is stopped. You want to stop as many deliveries as you can. And by having somebody come to the house on a regular basis, they can help address some of those issues that may occur that you don't expect.
Right. You had mentioned that, to kind of switch gears a little bit, that you were at a point in your life where you were looking to make a career change and that you visited Fountain Hills frequently for 20 some years. Where did you and your wife move from?
We are both East Coast people. I grew up on Long Island.
Okay.
Pam is from New Jersey. And my childhood was all on Long Island. My adult life was in New Jersey, with a short stay of 2 years in California. And I guess the crossroads, the reason for the crossroads was that we were relocated to California as a result of my job change, or my organization being purchased. 13 months after being relocated, there was a reorganization and I was downsized.
Oh.
So we decided that we were going to go back to New York, New Jersey area and live there and continue to look for a new career. And while that wasn't happening, it was time for a reevaluation and time to look at other avenues and other opportunities. And it was Pam that came up with the idea of Homewatch. We called it house sitting because we didn't know there was such a thing as Homewatch, but I liked the notion a lot. I liked it because we knew that we were going to have our retirement home here in Fountain Hills, and why not start the business and get it up and rolling prior to coming out instead of being fearful about coming out without having any job prospects.
Right. How did you come to choose Fountain Hills?
Well, Pam and I have been coming to Arizona for quite a while. So before Fountain Hills, we lived in Scottsdale in a townhouse near Ruth's Chris Steakhouse as a good landmark. We loved that location, but we were always looking for something different. And we would meet with our realtor on a regular basis on each of our trips and explore. And he brought us to Fountain Hills and showed us the house we're currently living in, and it was a home run. It was done. I was going to do everything I could to buy that house that I couldn't afford, but I knew that was the house that I wanted.
You made it work.
I made it work, yes.
That's great. So not only do you have a successful business here in Fountain Hills, but you are very involved as well. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about your volunteering?
Well, I do volunteer here at the Chamber.
Yes.
I lead one of the success factor groups, which used to be called Elite Leads groups.
That's actually how you and I met.
It is how we met.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Yes. I am a Chamber ambassador.
Which is huge. Why don't you tell a little bit about what the Chamber ambassadors are for those people who have not attended our ribbon cuttings and seen Jeff with his beautiful white cowboy hat on and his red jacket?
The ambassadors are just that. They are ambassadors of the Chamber of Commerce in Fountain Hills. And one of the key roles that ambassadors are involved in is ribbon cuttings. And you'll see us during the winter months wearing red sport coats, white cowboy hats, and holding up banners and supporting the local businesses as they open up their brand new businesses or they re-enter the workplace. So it's a fun way to help new businesses, and it's a great function that the Chamber serves as the new homeowners, or not homeowners, but new business owners get an opportunity to be seen by everybody in the community, as well as often covered in the Times newspaper,
Yes.
Fountain Hills Times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
And you are also on the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for that.
I am on the board.
Did we just remind you?
I guess I'm more involved in the Chamber than I really
You
thought
are.
about.
You're very involved. Yes.
Oh boy.
You've been with the Chamber since 2019. Is that correct?
Correct. It was one of my first stops when I started my business was to come to the Chamber.
Why is that? Why did you decide I need to go to the Chamber?
I thought as a new business owner that I needed to be involved with the Chamber. I needed to know more about the Chamber of Commerce. I needed to be able to network with other members of the community, and I thought that the Chamber was going to be the place to do that. And it's turned out to be one of the best decisions I've made. Certainly the best decision in my business in Fountain Hills.
That's wonderful to hear.
True.
Good. We just had our annual awards gala on Friday evening, and I'd like to share that Jeff did win Best Dressed. Take a look at pictures on Facebook to see his wonderful attire. He definitely dressed green for our Earth Day theme, so thank you for that.
My pleasure.
So to jump back a little bit into Homewatch Neighbor, I did forget to ask, what is your motto for your business?
I think you know my motto. Do you not? Do you not?
I do.
Let me hear you say it.
A vacant home is a vulnerable home.
Very good. And why is that, Jill? Why is a vacant home a vulnerable home?
Because it leads up to a bunch of issues if you don't have it being watched, right?
That's right. So in insurance terms, a vacant home would be one that's left without furniture. Really, the homes I look after are unoccupied. But there's no cachet to saying an unoccupied home is a vulnerable home.
True.
So we take some liberties and we say that a vacant home is a vulnerable home.
Yes, wonderful. You are part of the International Homewatch Alliance and graduate of Homewatch Academy. What does that mean to our listeners?
Well, let's start with Homewatch Academy. Homewatch Academy is the place that I was trained. So in Naples, Florida, there is a lady who used to do Homewatch. She now trains people to do Homewatch. And her name is Diane Pisani, and her organization is called Homewatch Academy. And at the time when I was trained to become a Homewatch professional, the classes were offered only live.
Oh, okay.
So I traveled to Naples, Florida for 3 intensive days of training to become a Homewatch provider. We learned about HVAC, we learned about plumbing, we had a business coach, we had an attorney, we had a tax person.
Wow.
Very intense classes of 3 days with no breaks other than a working lunch. And we learned all about how to provide Homewatch services for our clients, how to do a professional Homewatch visit, and the roots of how to open up a new business as well.
That's great.
Yeah, so very critical. And I said that the chamber was the most important part of my business when I came to Fountain Hills. The most important part of my business overall was that training. So anybody interested in joining the Homewatch business, I highly recommend Homewatch Academy. Those classes are now available online as a result of a pivot with the pandemic. So everything you need to know can be learned online at Homewatch Academy.
And I think it distinguishes you from other people who may offer some type of Homewatch services because you went through the training, you know what you're doing. And I think that maybe initially people wouldn't think about something like that, but I think it's very important you look for professionals and people who are trained to do these things. So
professionally trained is important, passionate is important. When I meet with a new client, I always provide them with a client packet. And in that packet, I still include my certificate of graduation from Homewatch Academy because it does separate me from other people in the Homewatch business. If a client is interviewing with multiple people to find their Homewatch provider, it's one of the things that sets me apart from them.
Absolutely. You had mentioned that you like to do educational events. Do you have any coming up that the listeners can look forward to being a part of?
I actually do. I am presenting on Saturday at the American Legion.
Oh, great.
So we didn't talk about this, but this is airing on Friday. So the day after this airs, Saturday, I'll be at the American Legion at 9:30.
Okay.
Happy to, I guess we can have guests there.
Sure.
Yeah, the American Legion doesn't care.
No.
Come on by.
If somebody were wanting to get in touch with you to talk about possibly hiring you or asking about if they can come to the Legion on Saturday, how would that be best?
So I guess the 2 best ways would be phone.
Okay. You want to share your phone number with us?
602-739-4354.
Okay.
And that's a cell, so that could be text as well. My email address is jeff@homewatchneighbor.com.
And you can always call the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce or go to our website to find Jeff's contact information as well. He is one of our very active members, so if you were to attend any of our networking events, you would see him there as well. Is there anything else you would like to share with everybody today about Homewatch Neighbor?
Well, we went away from volunteerism for a bit.
Yes.
But I would like to mention that I am a member of the Four Peaks Rotary
Yes.
here in town, and I do sit on the board of directors of the Four Peaks Rotary. And it's a wonderful organization, and I highly recommend people learn more about the Rotary and Four Peaks Rotary specifically and get involved. as you see fit. If it works for you, certainly get involved. Great volunteer opportunities as a member of the Rotary. So I highly recommend people do some homework, learn more about Rotary.
Yes, the Rotary does a lot in town. They are also involved with the Chamber of Commerce. We use you guys for the festivals twice a year. So I agree. We love the Rotary.
Right, it's very important that trash be picked up. So the Rotary picks up trash at the...
You're more than just that.
No, I think we pick up trash. So if my mom asks me what I'm doing, I'm flushing toilets and picking up trash. She must be so proud. So proud. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Well, Jeff, I want to thank you for coming and doing the podcast with me today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Jill. It was fun. Thank you for having me.
That will wrap up episode 53 of FountainCast. And once again, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to share our show with your friends, neighbors, clients, and anyone in your network. And please like, rate, and review our show wherever you listen to your podcasts. I encourage you to reach out to Jeff Stack and see how to protect your home while you're away, because a vacant home is a vulnerable home. As today's host, Jill Haislip, thank you, Fountain Hills, for continuing to be the best community.
Homewatch Neighbor is an organization here in Fountain Hills. Fountain Hills. Homewatch Neighbor. Can we do that again?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, we started looking at homes around the valley, and our realtor, who is a friend now, suggested there was a home